Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Today we're hanging out in the MapleStory Korea server. The Savior update was released earlier this week, containing more balance changes for some of your favorite classes and less popular classes like our boy Evan right here. This class though got some really good buffs, so we're checking out how viable Evan is right now. I'll be showing a few more changes that are coming our way towards the end of the video, like improved EXP curves and improved grinding spots. These changes are going to be released in MapleStory Global and MapleStory C in their big summer updates, which is most likely happening around June next year. But first, Evan. This class was one of the lucky few that got the most buffs and changes this update, and while there aren't any changes to how the class plays, you'll be having a way easier time getting this class up to level 210 or level 200. Evans can be quite thirsty for MP potions due to their lack of any MP eater skill, but no more. The first job Dragon Soul skill now has a 50% chance to absorb 5% of the max MP on regular monsters and 3% on boss monsters. I trained this class from scratch to level 202 yesterday in MapleStory Korea, and I did not have to use any potions for my MP once. When I was using potions, it was only for my HP, not for my MP, which is a lot more convenient than the current Evan. With the second job advancement, there is another really nice change that is mostly nice for bossing. You can now teleport after using the second job up jump skill, Wind Jump, even if there is nothing to teleport to. So when you're up jumping, you can get that battle mage like teleport, where you can just teleport in any direction, even if there isn't a platform. In the current GMS situation, Evans can only teleport after up jumping if there is something to teleport to, like a platform. It's a nice little change that will help you a lot more in those boss battles. I think out of any class that I trained at lower level, Evan has to be the worst, especially third job. Their Thunder Flash skill is just so useless, it's so weak, but thankfully no more. This skill has had its range increased by 21%, and the damage those little balls of electricity do got increased from 150% to 400%. And to top that off, the skill Dragon Drive passively boosts the damage of this skill as well. This used to be a boost of 80%, but that boost was also increased to 150%. So instead of doing 230% damage, you'll now do 550% damage with the third job, which is more than double. The number of hits was also increased from 6 to 8 on this skill. Now I still have a bit of reservations for this skill, since the final damage of this skill was changed as well. You'll now deal 60% less final damage if multiple Orbeez hit the same enemy. If you can one-shot with this skill, it's pretty dope for grinding I think, but if you don't, it's still not that amazing, as the next hits will deal less damage if you're hitting the same monster. And while you deal more damage with it in general, the reduced final damage could be a bit of a letdown when you're bossing. Still a bit of a win overall I think though. And to top off the third job changes, their Elemental Reset skill now gives you 2% more final damage as a passive, so 17% instead of 15. I hope you do like more damage though, because that's what Evan is getting for Christmas, a lot more damage. Your Thunder Flash skill is getting an even bigger damage boost in fourth job. The passive boost that this skill gets from the Dragon Breath skill was increased from 300% more damage to 745% more damage. Talk about a bit increase. So if you max out this skill, instead of doing 530% damage, you now deal 1295% damage if my math was correct. You do have to keep that 60% reduced final damage in mind though when you're hitting the same target multiple times, but still that's a big increase. And that ain't all though, Dragon Breath's passive also boosts the damage of your Earth Dive skill, and this passive damage boost got increased as well, from 420% to 620. The Earth Dive skill got a bunch of changes similar to Thunder Dive as well. The attack range of the skill was increased, ranging from 18% to 30%, depending on the stage of the attack, either 1, 2 or 3. The base damage was increased from 190% to 370%, and the amount of lines on this attack was increased from 6 to 10. But there is again a catch. If you hit the same enemy multiple times, there is a 50% decrease in final damage now. Still a massive window, and similar to Thunder Dive, great for mobbing and pretty good for bossing too. Evan seems to have a thing for getting more lines for free, because their Earth Breath and Wind Breath both now deal 6 lines of damage instead of 5 at the cost of nothing. You get additional line, you get additional line, every skill just gets an additional line for Evan. And for the final 4 job change, the Enhanced Magic Debris got a 10% damage increase from 110% damage to 120% damage. I used to hate leveling up Evan. It's a lot of work managing your dragon, and the payoff wasn't great, the damage was kinda low, but after training the newly buffed Evan in MapleStory Korea, everything was just so much better. You're still managing your dragon a lot, that did not change, and there are a few annoyingly short buffs, but at least he can deal proper damage now for all the work you put in. His damage is actually pretty okay right now. Evan's hyper-skilled Dragon Master, where he rides Mir that shoots out a beam of fire, got changed. It's now a key down skill. Letting go of the skill will stop it completely and refunds a bit of the cooldown depending on the amount of time left. Evan is also invincible for 1 second when the skill ends. Evan's 5th job skills, Elemental Barrage and Dragon Slam got a few minor buffs this update. Elemental Barrage now deals 1550% damage instead of 1300 at max level, and Dragon Slam now deals 1150% damage instead of 950 at max level. But the best change of them all is this convenience change. You can now add Spiral of Mana to a shortcut on your keyboard. You no longer have to use Mana Burst while spamming that down key. Instead, use Mana Burst plus a Spiral of Mana key at the same time to install this skill, which is a lot more convenient and way less clunky. And finally, for this update, there's one small nerf that affects all mages, including Evan's. The Mana Overload, Common Magician 5th job skill, has had its final damage boost decreased from 10% to 7%. So there is still that. But overall, Evan was feeling a lot better to level up. The Savior update also includes a ton of other content changes. You can now, for example, see your attack speed, magic attack and weapon attack in the stat window. The EXP needed to level up between level 220 and 259 has been improved, making it a bit easier to level up. The amount of symbols from daily quests was also improved as well, which is pretty good. Finally, we're going to be able to be faster with our dailies. We're gonna max out our symbols a bit faster. The same goes for the authentic symbols obtained from the daily quests over there. And the EXP for the daily quest in the Arcane River has been improved as well. Erda Spectrum, Hungry Muto, the replacement quest for Dream Defender, and the other special daily quests have been either changed or improved. For example, the monster hunting 3rd stage of Erda Spectrum is gone, it's now only the one with the lasers, and there's only normal mode for Choo Choo now. The EXP these quests give has been improved as well, and more importantly, all these quests now are weekly and have to be completed up to 3 times per week, no more 3 dailies per day if necessary, which will save you a ton of time. Besides that, a lot of maps have been changed, either the monsters, the terrain, or both have been improved. This includes maps in Vanishing Journey, Reverse City, Choo Choo and Yum Yum Island, making training a bit more viable and a bit faster. Plus new maps have been added to Limina. So not only will this update buff our boy Evan, we're gonna be training a bit faster between level 200 and 259 as well, with an adjusted EXP curve between level 220 and 259, and better trading maps between Vanishing Journey and Yum Yum Island. And that was all for today. What do you think of Evan and the upcoming changes? Let me know in the comments. And as always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Ziggy, Flidiot, Knifesu, Cloudfix, Gussus Rodriguez, Digby, Vira, Trevor, Michael Menchaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Afterlord_MS, Striker Elk, Tidal One Pun, Radical Jaws, Riser RU, Sir Tito 655, Mathias Simonsson, PC Game Life, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, Conrad Crystallis, Ace Light, Mr. Wolf, Max Bernhardt, Muka 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Priscilla, Brendon Cam, Vake Botnet, Fecco, Victor Sundstrom, ceemak, Only, Rashid Alarudi, Gerlando Balavia, Gianfranco Calderon Canavero, Lucky Beats, Mathieu Def, Gummy Bullet, Lord Fazil, Spats D. Kaiser, Zunnen, That Archie Guy, Grogro, Grable Egg, and Louis Bento Brandao. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and as always, happy mapling.